Hi folks, this video I will be addressing a very sensitive subject between the nations of Japan and South Korea, and that subject happens to be the subject of comfort women. For those of you who do not know the term or are not familiar with it, comfort women was sexual workers, worked in concubines during World War II and before, servicing the Japanese army's sexual desires. They were lady of the evenings, alright? Basically set up in these concubines in these buildings, and the Japanese soldiers would go in there and pay for the services to be sexually gratified. The contentious issue here is the South Koreans are saying these women were forced to serve in these concubines, whereas thus becoming sex slaves. Whereas the Japanese government is saying, no, they were not. We recruited them legally and paid them for their services. Now, who's right, who's wrong, I'm not discussing that in this video. Nothing to do with that in this video. If you want to discuss that, go to another video. This video is about what happened subsequently with the treaties between the two countries. In the year 2005, it was brought to light that 40 years earlier, in 1965, there was a treaty, kids, a settlement agreement between the nation of South Korea and between the nation of Japan. And it basically dealt with any issues, any claims arising out of Japan being in Korea from 1910 to 1945. And the agreement states in there that this agreement finalizes any complaints, any claims against the Japanese government, be it from the South Korean government or be it from South Korean citizens, individual. And in return, the Japanese gave the South Korean government $800 million in grants and soft interest loans, soft loans, meaning loans below market interest rates. And the Japanese government urged the South Korean government to turn that money over to the people who have claims. Well, the South Korean government said, that's right. They really said, really? They kept the money. They didn't put it in their pockets. They used the money for infrastructure and other government works. They did not turn it over to the people, but they agreed that no longer will the people or the government have a claim against the Japanese nation and people for what may have happened in Korea from 1910 to 1945. Guess what, kids? Now recently the South Korean government is saying, hey, wait a minute, kids, let's look at that issue again. We need to pursue some more compensation from the Japanese government. To which I have to say once again, really? You signed the treaty. You got paid in that treaty. And in that treaty you said no more claims, be it from the South Korean government or the South Korean people. You negated future claims. But you know what someone in the South Korean government is saying about the reason why they're resurrecting this again, looking into getting more money from Japan? Well, that was a crime against humanity. That's what it was, kids. They committed a crime against humanity, so that negates any previous treaties or agreements, and we could continue to ask for compensation. So if I was the Japanese government, what I would say is, so wait a minute. We had the agreement in 1965. Now in 2011 you're saying, well, we can negate that agreement because it's a crime against humanity. So now if Japan enters another agreement with you, pays you off again, who's to say 40 years down the road again, you will not throw out that clause again, crimes against humanity, give us more money. You see, that's an enabler. That will be enabling negative behavior. That will be enabling null and voiding a treaty and an agreement between two parties. So maybe I'm missing something here. But when an agreement is signed and money is given, that seals the deal, no matter what you label it 40 years down the road, because you could do that again 40 years down the road. That's what it is, kids. Please, what are your thoughts on the subject? And once again, this video has nothing to do with how those women were recruited into those concubines. Alright, we'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.